Good morning, all my yarn lovers and fiber artists. Guess what day it is? That's right, it is the morning of November 30th when I'm recording this. But if you're a returning viewer, you probably heard the sad story of my very slow 5G internet from Verizon Wireless. So I don't actually know what time this video is going to post. But also if you're a returning viewer, that I don't often record the day of I intend my videos to post because my internet is so slow. It can take hours to upload a short video, but we'll see what happens. We'll give this a try today. If it works out in a reasonable time frame, we might try to record more often on the day of. So why are we recording the day of? Because it's November 30th and it is time for us to dig into Day 1, Week 1 of the Hobbii, Hobbii, all the way from Denmark Advent Calendar. That's right. So, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for choosing to come back, hang out, and spend a little bit of your day with me. And thank you for your patience while I briefly introduce myself to anybody who might be new to my channel. Hi! My name is May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. Those are my hobbies, and I also happen to have been born visually impaired, legally blind, and completely colorblind. So I mostly knit and crochet by feel. So the first thing I'm going to say is, yes, I am visually impaired, but I still have enough sight. If you're brand new to the whole Hobbii Advent Calendar thing, by the way, you get 4 of these bags, and they are labeled with 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I do still have enough sight that I can read the large number 1. It's probably about 2 inches tall at least. So if you are totally blind, you might have some difficulties identifying the bags by yourself, and you might need some sighted assistance with that. So if you're brand new to the Hobbii Advent Calendar, I thought we would go over this week by week for anybody who's never done it before. I've said it before. I did do the Hobbii Advent Calendar, the knitting calendar, last year. I didn't complete it because I got distracted by working on my queen size vine lace blanket in the middle of December. I decided to knit that. And so, other projects went aside for 29 days. But anyways, you pay one fee. I think it was $120 or $23 or something like that this year. I don't remember what it was, but then of course this year in the United States, I did also have to pay a tariff on it, so I paid about a 15% tariff on mine. Now Hobbii has a knitting advent calendar, a crochet advent calendar, and then this year they also added an amigurumi calendar. So with your $120 some, you get 4 bags, each of which will have enough yarn for one small project. And then also, in true Hobbii fashion, they also enclose a couple of small little gifts. And then here is the thing about the Advent Calendar, and I know why some people are very hesitant to do these. I totally get it, because you don't know what the project is, you don't know what yarn it will be, you don't get to choose the colors. All of that's a mystery, all of that's a surprise, right? And so I understand when people are like, yeah, I don't want to put $120 some into, projects that I might not be interested in. And I understand that completely. So I thought this would be an opportunity for me to share it with those of you who are unsure of whether or not you want to participate in this in the coming years. So so in addition to your 4 bags, we're just going to open up bag 1 today, right, on the day 1, the Sunday the 30th, and then guess what? Next Sunday, we'll open up bag number 2, and so on. So in addition to your 4 bags, you also get a sheet of stickers, and then you get a postcard. I'm going to be super careful with this postcard and make sure one side of your postcard, I don't know what it says, but it says something, and the other side is your QR code. Now I'm going to be super careful and not show you the side with the QR code, but basically you scan that QR code on, depending on your time zone, it's I think Sunday morning in Denmark, but I think it's Saturday night my time. You will get access to each pattern. So right now I only have the access to the first pattern for week 1, and then on the 7th I will get the pattern for week 2, and so on and so on. So we don't know what we're going to be possibly making if indeed I choose to make these projects. So today is the reveal for bag number 1. So the first thing I want to do is, and I did, by the way, if you watch my channel, if you're a returning viewer, on Wednesday November 19th, I believe it was, during a Whip Wednesday video, I talked about the Hobbii Advent Calendar and that I was going to pre-record the first part and then do the pattern reveal. Well, I decided we're just going to do this on Sunday. I don't know if we're going to keep doing it that way. Perhaps the future weeks I will pre-record a little bit, the first part, and then as soon as maybe on Saturday, and then as soon as I get that pattern, I'll come back with you on Saturday night or Sunday morning and we'll, continue it. So, but the first thing is that Hobbii does throw in some nice gifts. So the very first week they do include this cute little pair of scissors. That's very nice, right? Because pretty much no matter what project you're doing, you're gonna need some scissors, right? And so, hey, I think that's really cool. These are cute little scissors. They're small enough. They're a nice travel size. You can tuck in your bag, your purse. I probably wouldn't try to take these to an airport, though. They are pretty sharp, but they are a cute little travel pair that could certainly go with you on an overnight bag if you're going, on a drive to stay with family or something. So they look like a good pair of scissors. They look like quality scissors. They look like, they're not like cheap plastic, right? They're like a metal pair of scissors. So they look nice. They look good. I'm really happy about that. So, and then gift number 2 in the bag is, let's see, gift number 2 is in the bag. It is the water bottle. And last year they did also give us a water bottle. These are nice quality, like metal, insulated water bottles. They're good quality. I was happy with mine last year, and so I am not at all disappointed in getting another Hobbii water bottle. Staying hydrated is very, very important. I'm a big believer in that, whether I'm stitching or out walking or whatever. So that's very nice. So now let's get into the yarn. And yes, I did already get into the yarn because, being that I am visually impaired, I know already that I'm colorblind, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what colors these are or read you the details on the yarn label, right? And so I did get into the yarn ahead of time. I did do that so that I could talk with you about the yarn. So in this project bag, we get 2 skeins of their Highland wool. This is a DK weight wool. I did look it up on their page. Their yarn comes with like a QR code that you can actually scan, and it will take you right directly to that specific yarn on their page. So I certainly did that ahead. I'm trying to see if I can read really anything on here, but that little QR code will take you right to the yarn on their page so you can learn about it. So I did that already, and I had to look up the colors. We get color number 2, and I'm trying to remember what color this other one, 23, I believe. And so the colors are eggshell and artichoke melange, and this is the Highland wool. It is a DK weight number 3. It is not super wash wool. Okay, this is a hand wash wool, and the skeins are about 191 yards. Your stitch gauge on this is about your 5.5 to 6 knit gauge stitches per inch. Even though I bought the crochet one, I do talk knit gauge because I've been knitting a lot longer than I have been crocheting, so that's just what I understand. So knit gauge is 5.5 to 6 stitches on a US size 5 or 6 knitting needle. So, about your 4 millimeter knitting needle, and probably they recommend about your 4 to 5 millimeter crochet hook as well. So it's not super wash. It's not merino. It's a Peruvian Highland, but it's still a very lofty, very squishy, very, very soft wool. It's kind of got more of that like rusticy soft kind of wool that you might see a lot of your traditional, kind of Fair Isle and Nordic type projects made out of. I like the texture of this yarn. And so I talk about it often. I'm half Chinese, and so neither of these colors are good for me. And I knew that going into this, okay? I knew for me, it was definitely a roll of the dice. This was going to be a gamble for me, because last year when I bought the knitting calendar, I ended up really loving one of the shawl patterns, but they sent me colors kind of similar to this that were not good for my little half Chinese complexion. And so once again, eggshell artichoke melange is kind of a yellow green, kind of a golden heather yellow to golden green, and those are not colors to have near a Chinese face. So not good colors for me. So let's talk about the project. I did already scan the QR codes and go to the project. No, I just printed out the page because I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally reveal, pattern information that these patterns are going to be for sale. If you did not buy these patterns and you want access to them, I think sometime in January or February they're going to be for sale for purchase. So I don't want to give away a lot of details, right, that you're going to have to pay for to get. But the crochet box, which was what I bought, is a stepping stone scarf, okay? Now, right away, I can tell you that these colors will not look good on a scarf from me. So these are not colors that I'm going to wear near my face on a scarf. As a, it's an interlocking crochet color work scarf. It's very, very pretty. If you're sighted, you can see it there. It's a very pretty scarf, and I think it's a well-written pattern. I think they put a lot of work into it. They did put a lot of diagrams. They break it down step by step and make it really easy to follow. Now, I've been crocheting for, not even like a year and a half yet, and so I'll be the first to tell you I've never done an interlocking crochet color work pattern before, and it's a goal of mine to be able to do this scarf, but I don't think I'm going to take it on this year. I don't think that my crochet skills are quite up to doing this yet. I mean, it would be a challenge, and this will be a challenge for me no matter what I choose to take this on. It's definitely going to be a challenge. They also want you to work it up on a 4mm crochet hook. As somebody who crochets by feel, that's definitely a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm not saying it's not doable, because I've crocheted with 4mm hooks before, but I don't think that I'm going to make this scarf, partially because I've never done interlocking color work before, and also because this is a really, really bad color for my face, this Artichoke Melange. So if I was wearing this color somewhere else on my person, I might be able to pull it off, but definitely not green gold near my face. So now, interestingly, when you get your QR code, they just include one postcard that they print off, I think probably pretty early, in the year. And so they just include it in all the boxes. And so you do get access to all of the patterns, the knitting and the amigurumi. Now, I knit as well. So yes, I did peek over at the knitting pattern. I did. And it is this powder flower color work mitten. And they actually, the knitters got the eggshell and like a darker mossy green. So had I gotten that green, I might have been very much more inclined to wear that darker green, especially in a scarf. I could probably pull off that darker green in a scarf. But they're wanting us to do color work mittens. Now, I like the pattern. It's definitely going to challenge me as somebody who's visually impaired to work off of a color chart. I can do it. I've done color charts before, but I am losing more eyesight, and so it becomes more challenging for me. I'm not saying I can't do it. I may try it, but I get a lot of eye strain and eye fatigue trying to visually enlarge those charts on my phone and, to 1,000 times and zoom it in. I'll have to literally look at it box by box by box, probably on my phone. And so that's probably going to take me more than the week, right, to do that. But I definitely might. I like the pattern. I like that little hearts and flowers on it. It's a really pretty pattern. It's a really typical kind of a Fair Isle Scandinavian type 2-color, motif. So it's cute. I do make fingerless mitts. I don't know that I've ever made a thumb gusset. I think the way that they want us to make it. So I don't know if I'll stick with their pattern. I don't know if I'm going to do the picot edging if I do it or not. So I don't know, but I'm much more interested in the knitting pattern than I am the crochet pattern. So I don't know if Hobbii is okay with us, accessing the knitting pattern if we bought the crochet box. I would think that, they know that we have access to it. So, I don't know. I don't know if they actually want me promoting that or not, but nonetheless, here I am talking about that. So I would be tempted to make this with the colors that they sent me, because I could probably wear Artichoke Melange in mitts, but I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, and I'm not a big fan of doing mitts in a non-superwash wool. Now, I know that's kind of this kind of rusticy, kind of stickier, non-superwash wool. There's the strands if you want to see it. That is kind of more of the traditional wool that is used in Fair Isle and Scandinavian colorwork. So I'm not surprised that they sent us a non-superwash wool for these projects. I'm not surprised by that. And if it was a scarf, if these were appropriate colors for me to wear a scarf, I wouldn't mind making a hand wash scarf. I've made hand wash scarves before. I've made cashmere scarves, alpaca scarves. I've made hand wash scarves before, and I don't mind a hand wash scarf. But I'm not big on hand wash gloves and mitts because in the wintertime it's cold and flu season. We touch a lot of things with our hands, right? There's germs and bacteria everywhere. So I really like mittens and gloves that tend to be able to go in the wash. So I'm just going to be honest with you. If I choose to make this colorwork pattern, I know Hobbie's not going to be thrilled with me for saying this, but I probably will substitute it with a superwash wool. Okay? And I don't have a DK weight superwash wool from Hobbii in the house. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they don't make one, because they probably do. They very likely do have a superwash DK weight wool. And if I were smart, I would have done a little more research and digging on their website and looked for a Hobbii DK weight superwash wool that I could have recommended for us to use as a substitute. But I was thinking about the yarns that I presently have in the house. So I know they're going to hate this, but I'm going to say that the yarns that I have in the house to substitute this in colors that I would wear are not Hobbii brands, okay? I am probably looking at either Swish DK, which is by Knit Picks and We Crochet. They have a 100% superwash wool at a DK weight. That is a similar gauge, your 5.5 to 6 stitches per inch on knit gauge. So I'm looking at probably Swish DK or Cascade 220 Superwash Sport. If you're a returning viewer on my channel, you know I also have a lot of that in the house in a variety of colors, the white and the ruby, and so I'm definitely considering using those yarns as substitutes. So anyways, that's just my thoughts. Say hello in the comment section. Let me know if you bought the Hobbii Advent calendars before. Let me know your thoughts on the projects this year, the colors, the yarns this year. Let me know if you're going to make them right now or not, because the stepping stone interlocking crochet scarf is a little beyond my skills right now. It's definitely going to challenge me. Not saying I won't do it in the future. It's probably a future goal, but I'm probably not there yet. So anyways, let me know if you bought the calendar. Let me know if you bought the knit, the crochet, the amigurumi. Let me know if you're going to make the project. And if you haven't bought it, is this fun and interesting for you to see the projects, the yarn? Does it make you more inclined to want to buy them in the future or less? You know, kind of seeing the colors, seeing the projects. Are you like more interested, less interested? I would love to hear from you. It is Sunday, so let me know how your Sunday is going. You know, I was up early and watched some church on the YouTube. Typical Sunday morning for me. And now I'm going to get ready to upload this video and hope that Verizon Wireless gets it to you all sometime Sunday evening. Okay, my friends. Well, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, happy stitching. Bye-bye for now.